Alright, I'm gonna try something a little bit different. This is not actually actual live in-game, this is recorded footage. Let me just pause it for now. I'm going to do some commentary over it, because if I try to do gameplay and commentary at the same time, I get overwhelmed and I just ramble on forever. But maybe this will help. So this is supposed to be a Sephiroth showcase video. I wanted to get it out a while ago, but the things. Well, let's just say I have like a little bit more complicated feelings about Sephiroth and how he performs. Um, well, let me just get it out of the way that he is definitely very good. He has top-notch damage. Look at his max brave here. It's 46k outside synergy. It's granted there are two auras here, but it's also pretty crazy. Yeah, and he does great damage. His EX is full AoE, which overflows. Doesn't really matter if they have defense or not. That just brave gains and like gets their brave to 0. It's basically that. He also has great longevity. Like he can use EX and he can just use a free skill and then he can just like HP plus for 4 turns and then he gets EX back again before his his reunion buff falls off. Yeah, he's great. But the thing is that he also falls into the category of a generic attacker. Like it's almost unfair to say that he's generic because he's really good as an attacker, but being a really good attacker right now isn't really enough for the most part. So this is the Emperor Chaos fight. I just skipped ahead to the boss fight portions. The team is Setzer, Rosa, and Sephiroth with a Setzer friend. The strategy here is just to use Setzer's freeze to deal with their brave gain into HP attack while having Sephiroth do damage. So let's see how this plays out. I'm also playing this at 1.5x speed because otherwise it's gonna take too long. Right, so just going through the basic motions. Yeah, so here's the EX cast. 70k damage, outside synergy, it's pretty good. And then here, Setzer's gonna freeze. Well, Setzer's gonna freeze before B gets their next turn. Nothing really much going on here. You see, like Sephiroth, he also gets a really good self-brave regen from his reunion stacks. Oh, also one thing I want to note, let me just go back a little bit. Here, where is it? Right, here. When the scorpion things have their tails up, they actually take more damage, which is a little bit fun Easter egg from Final Fantasy VII. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead. That's the HP plus that I just skipped. So nothing much going on, so I'll just keep quiet until there's something that's worth mentioning. Right, Setzer is really good. His EX recasts really fast. Right, you see there? That was like around 5k per hit on the first skill versus around 6.6k per hit when the tail's up. So that's a chance to attack. Okay, so this one has also got the tail up. Okay, now here, I think Sephiroth's gonna... Oh, never mind. Because their HP are still high, so their defense isn't up yet. Right. Here I chose to do just normal HP plus because that's kind of a waste to do EX right now. So I chose to summon early. Why? Because one thing, this enemy, the A, has his tail up, so I want to focus it. Because Setzer's skill 2 can actually be able to do 9999 times 9 with a single skill use, so that's really good damage. Also get to delay a little bit, and I also don't have to worry about wasting my EX cast because I need to time my freezes and don't have enough turns in between for Setzer. So see, like, here's the thing. Like, even though this is supposed to be a Sephiroth showcase, like, most of the time I'm actually explaining what Setzer is doing. Because Sephiroth, there's really nothing to explain about him, he just hits really hard. Oh yeah, and the other reason why I go with HP plus on previous turn is because I want to use the EX in summon here to guarantee capped damage, basically. Right. Yeah, you can see here on the enemy with the tail up, it's hitting for 9999. On the enemy with the tail down, it's hitting for 8k. Yeah, so that's one part about it. Like, see, Sephiroth is not hitting as hard as Setzer in this case, which is kind of funny, and Setzer still be able to hit 9999 outside the sum sequence. I chose the HP plus there because I don't want to get AoE broken by B. Right, you see here, by summoning during that time, I get a lot of turns, and I get a lot of damage out of Setzer specifically, because I don't have to worry about his EX recast. And then the next turn, Sephiroth EX will be ready, so here's another bit big damage. And both of their tails are up. I think what I did next is to summon the Setter friend to replace my own Setter, so I have a little bit more leeway to deal with things. Okay, so let me see if I have enough time to explain, or should I pause it? I think I'm gonna pause it for a bit. So when the fight goes on, the Scorpions, when they raise their tail first, they won't do the charge immediately. They will do a single target stomp attack, and the stomp attack breaks someone, they get next turn faster. So that's something that we need to try to avoid. So there's the stomp attack. So if it breaks my Setzer, it's gonna get an instant turn basically. Well, not quite instant, but faster than before. Then I get a chance to shave it down. So that's why I chose to use the Mind Blast there on the previous turn on Rosa to give Setzer some battery to work with. And luckily I survived with how many Brave was it? Thankfully I had almost 20k and I survived with 975. Yeah, on the previous recording it actually broke me and I lost the run because of it, so that's something to watch out for in this fight. Okay, here I'm pretty sure I swapped out, did I? I didn't watch this video first, this is my first take. Yep. Okay, freeze. Sephiroth has a free skill, so he's gonna... I think that's actually a mistake, because B here actually has defense up, which I should have hit A instead, but I think what I was trying to do there was trying to even their HP, so I don't kill one faster before the other, otherwise they get insane. Yeah. Okay. Right. Here, just more damage. Again, using the EX instead of skill 2, even though skill 2 does more single target damage, I need to just get the battery on Sephiroth so he doesn't get broken by B. So I get a chance to shape things down. Yeah, the attack really hurts. And yeah, like Sephiroth plus Rosa is really good because his Eye Brave gets buffed even more. So yeah, sometimes you can't get the perfect freeze, it's unfortunate. But Rosa has enough healing to deal with a little bit of damage. Oh, also you can notice here, like Sephiroth has really low HP. That's why I went with the Setzer strat, because even if I did the Yashtola strat for the full heal, if I don't manage their break properly, Sephiroth can still get one-shotted. Here, I'm just trying to prevent a break, basically. Technically, I should have used skill 1 instead. I mean skill 2 instead for more damage. Okay, right, alright. Like, Sephiroth, he's just doing damage. Like, there's nothing special about him. Okay, and then here, the Setzer friend's gone, but I got a freeze off when both of their tails are up, which is really good. Here I either HP plus, yep, I did HP plus. This one's not gonna do much damage. And right now, Sephiroth isn't really doing much because he's losing the Rosa's prayer buff. Now for the remainder of the fight, it's basically rinse and repeat. Nothing really interesting happening anymore. So I'm just gonna speed things. Do I want to speed things a little bit? High speed. Let's just go back to 1.5. Anyways, yeah. You can see here, Sephiroth isn't really doing much other than just doing damage. But as he's doing, okay, so there, so here I know B is targeting Sephiroth, but he has a freeze on him, so I don't really have to worry about it because the Brave King is on one turn. The really big lethal Brave King is on one turn, and the next turn is a smaller Brave King. That one I can manage. So I just went ahead and used Black Materia, the DX skill, and just let it break me. So let's look at B's turn order. Okay, here it didn't really change, so that wasn't really much to say. And something sometimes like the additional ability uses. Sometimes I use it to just stall for a turn for enemies Emperor region. This is not the case right now. I think I just did this so I can do more damage to A, because Sephiroth is not gonna make it in time. Right. Yeah, that's what I did. Here, I think... okay. Right, because using the red card to delay A gets Setzer another turn to freeze. Okay, yeah, Sephiroth, like, his damage is really good. Like, that's a 94k HP attack outside synergy. Outside summon. Like, his damage is good, but just having good or even great damage in this case, like, he's not really doing much, which is one of my gripes. So there, like, okay, that's one thing I kinda don't like about using a Fantasy X recast character, because I get into the notion of wasting certain EX casts. Okay, here, technically I should be able to use EX if it's a normal enemy, but A is going to break me. A is going to break Setzer, which puts him further back, which means he won't have a turn to freeze the breaking, which is lethal. But if I use the skill here, if I use skill 1 here, it means I lose half an EX cast of worth of recast. That kind of sounds weird, but yeah, that's something I don't really like. I would like to maximize my EX uses as much as possible, which sometimes is a detriment to like my own playstyle thing. Yeah. Anyways, the fight is gonna end without much pomp and circumstance. Basically, just kill things. Nothing much going on. Right. Skip ahead. Brave charge into 4k damage, which isn't too bad. Right, these scorpions, their only HP attack is the AoE Brave King into AoE HP attack, or when the other one's dead, it will have an HP attack on the stomp attack. But usually it doesn't do a standalone HP attack, which is why I decided it was safe to just use skill 1 there. And I use skill 1 because it does more damage, and this time that I can just need more damage on a single target and just burn them down. And I can allow it to break me because I have Sephiroth to deal with it. Now, I think this should kill them both? No? Okay. Yeah. Right, so that's the fight. Okay, as you can see here, I didn't get a score because this is not the ideal team for it. I could have gotten it if I used Emperor Friend instead, but that's not really a Sephiroth showcase anymore. So yeah, like even though he does great damage, he's not doing too much. This kind of falls into the same category as like Sabin and Furion to some extent. Like just good damage is enough. Like as an attacker, you kind of need a lot to actually shine in chaos. Alright, let me end the video here.